going on, everyone? So, the Rui Hachimura dilemma. It's a real question. What do the Lakers do with Rui Hachimura? He is going into being a free agent after the season. So, a couple questions. How much money does he want? Is he willing to kind of stay? Because talked about it. If he's willing to kind of be around where he's at, about $17 million a year, then it'd be hard to not want to keep him, especially how good he's playing. I mean, he's playing he's shooting historically great, right? Like he's unbelievable, right? But the issue with Rui is not his offense and his shooting ability. Like I have talked for years, like Rui Hachimura has done a phenomenal job evolving into that just off-ball catch and shoot shooter and just score, right? But he's a natural 4. He's not a 3. Now, could he be the guy that comes off the bench for you this season? Sure, right? Rui Hachimura is showing that as your starting 4, he can be that. He's been better defensively. Again, lights out offensively because it's just a better it's his natural position. It's his position and it's what he's best at, right? So I've talked about this again for years, and people have said, well, his numbers and his stats, I don't care what it says. We just watch the games. He is a 4. He's not a 3, right? But the problem is you have LeBron James, who is a 4 and not a 3, and LeBron is going to be your starting 4, especially at this stage of his career. Because the reason Rui, it's just like why LeBron likes to play the 4 at this stage of his career. But the reason Rui is now actually good defensively, I mean, not great, not elite, anything like that, but has actually been really good at the power forward spot is because the way that the game is played on the strong side of the court, right? So the right side of the court, it's where all the action is. So when you're the small forward, you have such a larger responsibility. You have so much more ground you need to cover. You're fighting through screens. You're fighting through traffic, right? You're navigating through screens. You need athleticism. You need to be, it's why 3s are usually quicker, twitchier, more athletic players than most teams at the 4, right? Like most teams at the 4, they're 6'8", 6'9" guys, but they're also a little slower, right? They're NBA players, so they're athletic, but like even Rui's athletic. He's just not to like the level of like some of these 3s. So Rui doesn't have the ability to fight. He has that lower center of gravity. He is more sturdy to the ground. You watch him defend 4s and 5s. He looks great. I mean, Jokic, he's over here getting stops against Jokic and planting down and just, you can't move him. He's an immovable object, right? But that's why he's best at the 4. And then that offense, most teams don't have a 4 that can deliver to the level in which Rui Hachimura can, right? So again, you start putting all these things together. You see what Rui can be as your 4, as your starting 4. The problem is you don't know how long LeBron James is going to stick around for. And you're not going to kick out LeBron for Rui Hachimura. As much as I love Rui, LeBron is still better. Like, so you're not going to be like, hey, LeBron, sorry, we got Rui Hachimura. You got to go. Maybe if you were to trade for Giannis or something like that, that's different. But, you're not going to kick LeBron to the curb for Rui Hachimura, right? So if in the offseason LeBron goes, you know what? I'm gonna skate on out of here, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna head over wherever. Or hey, can you want to pull off a sign and trade and send me to whatever, Cleveland or Golden State or something like that, whatever, right? Like I'm done with my Laker tenure. I'm gonna hand the keys over to Luka. You guys do your thing. Then yeah, give Rui a new contract. Let him be your starting 4 unless you get a Giannis or something like that. But like realistically speaking, let Rui be your starting 4. Build the right team. Put the right pieces around Luka, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton and all that. And let's go win a championship. Go get a legit athletic 2-way 3-and-D wing. And let's go, start building. Let's start carving out this future of the Lakers, right? Get some depth, all that stuff, right? But if LeBron wants another 2-year deal, right, then like, what are you going to do? You pay Rui Hachimura $17 million to come off the bench. Now, look, again, if you can solve your issues and still keep Rui, then do it. Right? I don't want to see the Lakers trade Rui, and especially trade Rui. I love Rui Hachimura. He's great. Him as like the sixth man role, I think would do wonders for this team, especially if we solve everything else we need. Right? If you can go get an Andrew Wiggins and still keep Rui Hachimura, which technically you can, but if you can go get an Andrew Wiggins and still keep a Rui Hachimura, you do that. If you can get a Miles Bridges or a Herb Jones or whomever, if you can get whatever that starting 3-and-D wing, like, hey, here's our guy at the 3. If you can do that and then still keep Rui Hachimura, chef kiss, beautiful. I love it. Right? Because now you have that starting 3, and now Rui can be your backup, be that guy that can slot in at the 3 at times, but really be your backup to LeBron James at the 4, knock down shots, do all the things that you want him to do, help raise the ceiling on the bench, who is dead last in bench scoring last year. So far, they've been dead last this year, but again, context is important. They haven't had, like, Rui's probably coming off the bench, Jake LaRavia, guys like that. A lot of the guys that would be coming off the bench are starting right now because of all the injuries. So, once we get everybody back, once we get everybody healthy, once we get everyone, in shape and ready to go, then all of a sudden I could see the Lakers, really cruising and the bench, increasing and being better. And then now you have Rui Hachimura. But the problem that you have with the Rui Hachimura situation, the Rui Hachimura dilemma, is just like, again, it's like, if he's your future 4, like, if he's the guy you're looking at, like, that's our starting 4, which, not going to lie, I'd probably like a little more athleticism at the 4, a little better defense. And because it's just, my concern is you have Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and, Luka Doncic. Yes, you have Rui at his 4, at his natural position, but it's just, you still have those 3 out there, which is a concern, right? Unless Rui's okay. I mean, Rui said, I don't care if I start or not. It's just about the minutes. So if Rui's kind of like, hey, like, if you want me to be your 6th man forever, I'll be your 6th man forever. As long as I get my $17 million and I get 25 minutes a night, I'm good, right? And the nights that he's just lights out and absolutely killing it, you can close with him. The nights that he's, not quite what you need him to be, you can just, bench him. Sure, right? Like, to me, it depends on how that kind of shapes up, right? But, like, if the only way to solve your needs on this team, for a team that I do think can win an NBA championship, I mean, I think they can win a NBA championship as is, but they have some clear needs. Perimeter defense, athleticism out on the wing, and two-way capability, right? And as much as I love Rui, he doesn't solve one of those things, right? He's not a two-way guy. He doesn't have athleticism out on the wing. He's not a good rebounder. Right? Like, there's a lot of things about Rui that, yes, I love, but if we're honest, he doesn't bring to this team, and this team needs it. If the team already had all that stuff, right? If a Dude Thero was already, matured, and he was, really was an OG type, and he's our starting 3, and we have all this stuff, it's like, dude, why would we trade Rui? Then yeah, sure, I'd be on board. I'd be like, no, it'd be silly to trade Rui, right? Look how good he's playing. But the reality is that's not what it is. It's not what we have. So, and you're not playing LeBron at the 3 at this stage of his career because he's 41 and you're 23, right? Like, LeBron James, again, it's the same reasons why, because he can kind of just sit back and coast and relax. Like, he doesn't have to exert all the energy and chase all these young bucks and fight over screens and do all this crazy stuff that it would require of him to be the starting 3. So if you're the Lakers, you're going with LeBron at the 4 over Rui. But the problem is we don't know how long LeBron is going to stick around for. If we knew that, if the Lakers know for sure, like, hey, this is LeBron's last year, we're going to let him walk, then sure, keep Rui. Don't trade Rui. Because then he can be your 4. Right? Like, at least worst case scenario, you have him as your 4. If you end up getting a Giannis or something like that, then that changes things. Then obviously that changes things, right? But, like, as of right now, he could be your starting forward. He's showing you that he could be that for you. And he's doing it at a high level, right? So, that's the thing, is that, like, you don't know. So you're kind of guesstimating. Again, if you can find the move that makes sense, that elevates this team while keeping Rui, then do so. If you don't have to trade Rui, don't trade Rui. I just think you're going to, at some point, it's going to come down to, hey, we're going to have to trade Rui Hachimura, right? And I think you have to. If it comes to that, if it's like, hey, we can get, a Miles Bridges or something like that, right? Because I know a lot of people don't want to trade Andrew Wiggins, like, but Andrew Wiggins, again, solves the things that you need, right? Like, you could think Rui is the better player. I don't. I still think Andrew Wiggins is the better player, but let's say you believe Rui is the better player, right? What Andrew Wiggins does, he is more of a need. Again, as Laker fans, we should know better than anybody. It's not about just the names on the back of the jerseys. We've had teams that on paper should have went 82-0 and, swept 16 games and win a championship, right? Like, and it didn't work out like that. We missed the playoffs, all kinds of stuff, right? So we know it's more than just the names on the back of the jerseys. You need the pieces that fit. You need the scrap guy. Like Andrew Wiggins and what he is best at, or the things that he has that Rui doesn't, is more of a need than what Rui does. Lakers are putting up 120 points a game without LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. Like, think about that. Without their three best offensive players, their three best offensive engine guys, their three best players, period, put up 120 points. The last thing they need is, like, they can survive without Rui's offense. They'll be fine without Rui's offense. It's the defense. And Andrew Wiggins is also a guy that can give you offense and can self-create and do all those things, right? So whether it's, again, if you can, ideally, I want to get somebody younger. Can you get a Miles Bridges, a Herb Jones, somebody like that? If you can, perfect, right? I would prefer you do that than go and get an Andrew Wiggins also. But if it's Andrew Wiggins or Rui Hachimura, or you have to trade Rui Hachimura to get Andrew Wiggins, you have to do it. As painful as it is, as much as I don't want to see it happen, as much as I wish if we could keep Rui Hachimura. Again, if you can trade for Andrew Wiggins and not, like if Miami's just like, hey, we just want guys that can, we just want to clear the salary. We don't care who it is. Like if you want to keep Rui, then fine, keep Rui and go get Wiggins. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.